Journaling for Christian men is easier than you think. This is the guide that I wish I had when I started trying to journal around 12 years ago. I'm really excited today for you guys because there's some of y'all that are going to have a breakthrough and you're going to realize that journaling is easy and it's something you can do. So let's just get right into it. I know you guys were wondering, is it really that easy? Yes, it's easy. And we're going to break it down into simple steps that you can do today and be able to see progress tomorrow. So right off the bat, the first thing I would do when it comes to journaling is you have to schedule it. You have to prioritize it. What does that look like? You need to figure out or determine what time of day you're going to do it. Is it night? Is it morning? Is it at lunch? You need to schedule out that time. It doesn't matter when, and it's something that could be flexible in the future. You just need to schedule that time. Don't worry about how long it's going to take. We're going to get into that. The main thing is that you prioritize it. And the way we prioritize it is we need to look at journaling just like we do other things in life that we don't miss. I call these the non-negotiables. So tell me, think about it. I assume that you're the type of person that will not leave the house without taking a shower or brushing your teeth. I sure hope so anyway. Or you wouldn't miss a meeting at work, or you wouldn't miss a date with your wife, right? Why? All these things are non-negotiables. You are going to make sure you make that meeting. You are going to take a shower at least every couple of days, right? You are going to brush your teeth. You are going to do these things daily that you have just settled in your mind that they're non-negotiable. That's what it is to prioritize journaling. You have to make it non-negotiable. It's something that you know you have to do, you need to do, and you're going to do everything you can to not miss it. We'll get into later about not making this about rule following and missing it and making it every day. We're going to get into that. But the main thing right now is you have to prioritize it. Keep it a priority. That is the first step into journaling. The next thing that I would do is keep it timed. What I mean by that is go in there, set a timer for 5 minutes. Yes, 5 minutes. I know 5 minutes doesn't seem like long, and you should be able to do at least 5 minutes. For some of you, that may be a stretch. That's okay. 2 minutes. Anybody can do 2 minutes, right? Whatever the time is, set a timer when you sit down at your time, at your scheduled time, wherever that is, and you set a timer that you're going to journal for that length of time. It doesn't matter what you write. You're just going to focus on that time and getting to the end of your timed, whatever time that you have determined that for that day. We'll expand this later. You'll grow in this some more, but the main thing is keeping it simple and keeping it to just those 5 minutes or those 2 minutes if you can't do 5 minutes. The next thing that I would look at, or the next step in this, is keeping it simple. And what I mean by that is, what do you write about? How do you write? You know, those are the big questions that come up. Keep it simple. What we're going to write about is 2 things, and these are journal prompts. The first thing is you're just going to start listing and start remembering and start imagining the things you're grateful for, the things you're grateful for to God, the things you're grateful for that happened yesterday, a year ago, five years ago, so forth. Anything that has happened to you that you're grateful for. There's many things that come up in my own journal that are repetitive things that I'm grateful for, but the most important thing, this is one thing you can always go to as far as gratitude, is the blood of Jesus on the cross and Him dying for us. We can always go there and start with an attitude of gratitude and just be thankful to Him. So write about it. Put it into your own words. There's no wrong or right way to write it. It's just that as long as you do write it. The other thing that you can do after you go through some thankfulness and some gratitude, the next thing you can do is now you're at a point where you can actually ask God to help you with some things. Maybe there's some things that you are struggling with at work. Maybe there's some things you're struggling with at home with your wife or your kids. This is the time to kind of say, God, I need some help here. And there again, write it in your own words. It doesn't matter how it comes out. You just need to be able to write it down. And I know this comes up a lot, and this is part of keeping it simple, is how do you write? Any way that will work. You can do it with pen and paper. You could do it in an actual journal, in paper, or a paper journal. That's what I started out with, was a book journal that I used to use, that I would write my journals every day in. An iPad works as far as if you do, you use the Apple Pencil or any of the other tablets you can use to use one of to write your journals that way. That's something I do now. Also, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be handwritten. It can be typed. I know some guys have a real hard time writing things out. So with their hands. So it's easier just to type it out. There's nothing wrong with that. What matters is that you are putting your thoughts onto paper or media in some form. I know that sounds hard, but there's just something about this, keeping it simple and just doing one thought at a time, writing it out like you're talking to your best friend. You're talking to the father you never had. That's who God is. He's the father. He's the friend that you've never had. And you can just be real with him about what you're thankful for, what you're grateful for, and what your needs are. That's where I would start. But I will tell you this, there's other prompts and there's other things you can do to be able to make it easier to do this journaling every day. And so I want to give those to you. I actually have a list of the 10 best prompts that I use for journaling. So right now in the comments, if you're interested in that list of prompts, just comment prompts down below, and I'll be sure to send that link to you so you can download those prompts. Okay, so after keeping it simple or keep it simple, we want to keep it measured. What I mean by that is we love to see progress. We want to see we're moving. We want to see we've done something. We want to see we've grown. We want to know that we've hit the mark of some sort every day. The way we do this with journaling, we count the days, guys. What we want to do is I want to introduce a concept to you, which is called don't break the chain. Now, this is not legalistic. Don't turn this into a rule, but your job is to only mark each day and count them down, find a calendar, I don't care, write an X on it, whatever, and count the days that you journal with everything else that we've talked about. You count those days. Later on that calendar, you're going to have 5, 10, 20 days in a row. Just keep on adding those days. Don't break the chain. I even go through my journals and I go through and I label them DBTC. What that means is don't break the chain, and then I record what day I'm on. That is motivating. When I see what day I'm on, I'm not going to miss the next day because I want to keep that going. I want to keep that chain going. Now, there's grace here, guys. There is, don't beat yourself up if you miss a day here and start over. In fact, I encourage you, give yourself a grace day. Maybe maybe things don't work out one day. Give yourself a grace day and, continue that chain that you got one gimme or one day you miss, maybe once a week as you're starting out. As you get better, you're going to want to tighten it up, of course. But here's the deal. As you move forward, you're going to start seeing those days chain together. And here's what I encourage you to do. When you get to like 30 days, when you get to a couple of months, when you get to whatever down the road, start going back to those previous journals days, those previous days that you journaled. Go back and reread your prayers, reread what you were thankful for, reread what you were going through. And it'll be amazing to see what God has done in you, and through those circumstances that were worrying you months ago, weeks ago, years ago. I can go back to journals now from years ago now, and I'm just like, oh my God, thank you so much for your faithfulness, and you're grateful, and be so grateful to you for how you've come through. If I didn't have a record of what was happening then, it wouldn't have reminded me to what to be thankful for now. And that's another great thing about journaling, and that's where you're going to see progress here. But the main thing in the beginning, when you're starting out, is just don't break the chain. Your job, your goal is just see how many days you can chain together. And then as you start getting that chain going, you can go back and start rereading some of your journals and start sharing what you're learning. That's another thing too. Share with your wife, share with your friends. This is going, all these things are going to show progress, and they're going to help you to be more motivated to keep going. And that is the great thing about, to keep it measured. You want to keep it measured. You want to count those days. The next thing after keep it measured is keep it fun. What I mean by that, don't beat yourself up if you miss a day. We're particularly here in the beginning stage, you are just learning, you're experimenting. If you miss a day, it's okay. Have fun with it. This is something you want to practice. That means it's going to take, you're going to fail forward. You're going to fail sometimes, right? We don't, it's not one and done, guys. You don't just do it one day and you've got it now. It's you're a journaler and you can journal anytime you want. You've got to practice this. You've got to cultivate this. You got to develop it, but have fun with it. This is something that you're going to learn to do with God, that it's like learning how to ride a bike with your dad. It's just something that you're going to look back on and you're going to be like, this is so much fun because I just learned how to practice this and learned how to get better at it. And I got stronger in it. And I'm able to do things now that I couldn't do before. And as I keep on pressing forward. All you need to focus on as far as keeping it fun is, can you do it for a day? Can you do this for one day? When you get up in the morning, think about your time that you're going to be scheduled for the day that you're going to journal. And think to yourself, can I do that today? Make adjustments if you can't, but can I do it for a day? Don't focus on tomorrow. Don't focus on trying to get 100, 200, 300 days down the road. The point is, what can you do today? And remember, it's a practice. It's not a marathon. I mean, it's not a race. It's a marathon. And, it's something you've got to build some endurance to. And you're going to have some setbacks. So learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to let it go. It's not that big a deal. Look back, and whenever you have some setbacks and you miss a day, go back to the other steps that I mentioned and maybe make adjustments. What I mean by that is, maybe the time of day is not working out for you. Maybe you need to change the time of day. Maybe you need to change how long you're doing it. Maybe, you do need, that 5 minutes instead of 2 minutes, or maybe you do need 10 minutes. You need to push yourself to do that 10 minutes. Whatever it is, keep it fun. You want to not make it into about these rigid rules that you have to follow, that you beat yourself up about. God is not sitting there going, you missed a day. You're not doing it right. I don't want to talk to you. That's not God at all. That's not the God we serve. That's not our Father. He is a good Father. He is excited. He loves just being able to talk with you. He wants to know more about you. He knows, he may know everything about us already, but he wants to know what you know. He wants to hear what you say. He leans into us and he wants to be a part of our daily lives. And journaling is that way of doing that. Learn to practice this. This is a practice. So I just encourage you, keep going, make it fun, adjust it as you go. And that will be important to keep you going and motivated whenever things don't go as planned. And that's life, right? Things may not go as planned. Get back up, do it again the next day. And I promise you, you're going to have some amazing breakthrough in your journaling. Moving forward, use this video as an outline to go back to and revisit as you're learning how to journal. Make it a part of your day. Make it part of your week to where you can kind of just brush up and make sure that you are moving forward in the various areas that we talked about. But here's the deal. There's going to come a point when you master this, or maybe you already have. So I created a video right here that it's going to go into much more detail about what it is to take this to the next level. You won't want to miss this. So click here to learn more about journaling. And I'll see you in the next video.